Hello guys, Neurotype here. Something a little bit different today. We have our very first Dark and Fairy type. I'm sure you've all watched the Nintendo Direct, which was shown a few hours ago. This is brand new, a type combination that has never been done before. I felt obligated to do a video on this because, as you may know, Dark type are my favourite type of Pokemon, and I've wanted a Dark and Fairy type since Fairy was announced, and we finally have one right here in front of us. The name, right, I might be saying this wrong. Impidimp, or whatever. Name-wise, I'm not too keen. I guess I'll have to hear it in the anime or something before I get too fixated over it. Look-wise, let's just hope this is the based form of a 3 evolution line. It looks kind of cool. Like, I like that little patch it has on its face. Color scheme I'm not too keen on, but I guess it has to be kind of like pink and black to show that it's Dark and Fairy. So the point of this video is basically to go over what this new combination of Pokemon typing offers us. So right now on the screen, I'll show you the defensive side. So I'll call it Impidimp for now, just for whatever's sake. Defensive, Dark and Fairy. It only has 3 weaknesses: Steel, Fairy and Poison. 1 resistance that takes half damage from, which is Ghost. Quarter damage from Dark, and this is the big one for me: 2 immunities, Dragon and Psychic. Necrozma, watch out, you've got a counter, if it's even in this game. We don't know yet. But yeah, resistances are looking good. Now, we don't know the stats of this Pokemon just yet. Its actual defensive stats could be piss poor for all we know. So I can't really go too much into like what it'll be good against. But just looking at the resistances and immunities, it's going to be really good against Latios, Latias. Good at throwing in front of Knockoff, Sucker Punch. Ghost goes through usually unchecked. You've got something to throw in front of that. I think defensive is looking quite good to me. Steel's not used that much. Poison's not used that much. Fairy is used quite a bit. But yeah, this Pokemon for me defensively is, I'd say it's impressive, because it's never been done before. We've never had this type combination. So we'll move on to the offensive side. Now, for me, Dark and Fairy are polar opposites. They cover each other's backs, and as you can see right here, they work extremely well against single type Pokemon, not having a single resistance. So again, this is just for one type. Super effective against Psychic, Dragon, Fighting, Dark and Ghost, and hits everything else neutral. That is huge. If I've got my Swords Dance up, for example, the tailwind's blowing behind me, I'm shooting black holes, evil, dark magic out of one hand, rainbows and unicorns out of the other hand. What Pokemon can stop me? Well, there are 3 type combinations. I might have missed one. I've done this quite quickly, forgive me. That will stop, well, that could counter this type combination. So we have Fire and Fairy, which doesn't exist as of yet. Poison and Fairy, again, which doesn't exist. Now there is a type combination that is around now in the current game: Steel and Fairy. This hard counters both Dark and Fairy. We have only 3 Pokemon that sport this typing. We have Mawile, Magearna, and Klefki. Mawile, not too bothered about, especially now Megas aren't in. You may not have just heard that. I'm sorry if it's a spoiler. Yes, no more Megas, so no Mega Mawile will be stopping me. Klefki, I don't see posing too much of a threat to this Pokemon. Again, its offensive stats aren't the best. and as a side note, it would be immune to its prankster abilities, so no Thunder Wave, no Toxic, no nasty stuff like that. It would have to go for Play Rough or something else if it wanted to do some damage to me. And lastly, Megaena. This would be the hard counter, I reckon, to Impidimp. It's got an amazing move pool. It's got the typing to take on... Like, we don't know its moveset yet. It could have fire moves or ground moves. But just looking at its typing and what we've been shown so far, it's going to have a really hard time taking this type combination down, Steel and Fairy. So lastly here, I wanted to speculate potential movesets and evolution images, well, of some famous imps. So this is on Cerebi. It has Assurance, Sucker Punch and Play Rough. So straight off the bat, to me, it's looking like a physical attacker. If you're physical and you Dark type, you have to have Knockoff. It's set in stone. You have to have it or else you're absolute rubbish. So my moveset would ideally be Knockoff, Play Rough. Now, looking at it, it seems more of a nasty plotter than a sword dancer. Hopefully it does get Swords Dance, otherwise I don't see much use in this Pokemon. Unless it gets its own version of an attack boosting move, or if it solely relies on Baton Pass, we don't know yet. So ideally I would like Swords Dance, Knockoff, Play Rough. Fourth move, I'm pushing the boat a little bit here. I'm being a bit crazy. Stomping Tantrum. It looks kind of like it would get this kind of move because it's an imp. I don't know, if it doesn't get its own way, it's gonna start stomping around and cause an earthquake. Who knows? We don't know anything as of yet. Now, this kind of moveset is only going to be useful if Impidimp is fast. If it's slow, then I don't want to know you. We're not friends. I never knew you in the first place. Sucker Punch would be nice on this instead of Knockoff if it is slow. However, again, we don't know if this Pokemon's in the game yet. Tapu Lele will be able to come in and just destroy it quite easily, dismantle it, gone. I really hope it's fast. Please be fast. It looks fast. I don't know what else to say. Please be fast, please. 102 speeds. Is that too much for the final Evo? Anyway, speaking of final Evos, let's look at some imps. I hope it turns into something similar. First one. Now, I'm showing my age a bit. This guy was around when, about 20 odd years ago, Jersey Devil. This was the first imp character that came to mind when I was thinking of a final Evo or imagining what it would look like. If it looked like Jersey Devil, I wouldn't be too bothered. Obviously change it around a bit. Jersey Devil itself kind of looks like a Pokemon. I mean, if they just threw that in the game, I'd probably accept it. I wouldn't be like, whoa, what's that like? I'd be like, okay, fair enough. It's an imp Pokemon, whatever. Next up, one of my personal favourite imps of all time, actually a Digimon. Yes, I am mentioning Digimon on a Pokemon video. Beelzemon. I absolutely love this Digimon. I love the design, I love everything about it. I love the clothes, I love the jacket, I love the shotgun, I love the wings, the half mask, third eye. This Pokemon? I wish. Digimon is just amazing to me. Now, imagine Beelzemon without the clothes. Not like that. It's got the same skin tone as Impidimp. I think it would suit quite well. Obviously, no shotgun, no weapon like that. I would love the final Evo to have huge, massive, evil wings. I would love that so much. Please let it happen. Now, the third famous imp I'm going to use doesn't require a picture on the screen. It actually requires you to step away from your computer, phone, tablet, TV, whatever, and then look in the mirror. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm joking. You're all beautiful. I'm just messing around. Right. I'm going to sign off for now. I'll probably see you guys if another Dark-type Pokemon pops up. my final battle for the Draft League, which should be due in the next couple of days. Or if I can be bothered starting up my Penumbra Moon playthrough again. Alright guys, I'll see you later. Bye!